Have you ever stopped to wonder why the universe feels so harmoniously organized? Like, why the petals on a flower align in a perfect spiral? Why galaxies in the cosmos swirl with elegant grace? Or why snowflakes crystallize in breathtaking symmetry? If you've ever paused and asked yourself, why does the world look designed? Why does it feel intentional? Then this episode is for you. So, sit back, grab a cup of coffee, or tea if you're like me, and let's unfold a mesmerizing story about patterns, mathematics, and their profound role in shaping reality. Let's start with the basics. Patterns aren't just beautiful, they're deeply embedded in nature. From the veins of a leaf to the branching of lightning, or even the arrangement of planets in the solar system, patterns reach into every corner of our existence. Mathematics, the language of patterns, isn't merely a human invention. It's as if the universe relies on this language to orchestrate its own behavior. Think about it. Prime numbers, Fibonacci sequences, fractals, these aren't just classroom curiosities. They're fingerprints left by the cosmos itself, etched into the fundamental fabric of our reality. But let's take a moment to scale back to something relatable. Consider the Fibonacci sequence, an enchanting set of numbers where each is the sum of the two preceding it. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, and so on. Not only does it define countless spirals in nature, like pine cones, sunflowers, or seashells, but it's also tied into how trees branch and how hurricanes spin. Some studies even suggest it appears in the length ratios of DNA molecules, aligning with these seemingly magical proportions. Still with me? Great, because now I'd like to pedal shift into an even more extraordinary idea. Mathematicians and philosophers often debate whether math is discovered or invented. Here's the kicker. Even if civilizations had evolved differently, without telescopes or advanced tools, some argue we'd still find Fibonacci in seashells or the golden ratio in architecture. Why? Because nature precedes us in weaving the threads of math into reality. We'll circle back to this point as we explore how these patterns might structure not just matter, but also the intangible fabric of space and time. You know what really blows my mind? Let's talk Mandelbrot sets. Named after Benoit Mandelbrot, these intricate structures emerge from deceptively simple equations. Think of a fractal. When you zoom in, it endlessly recreates itself with unparalleled complexity. Fractals echo everywhere. Mountains rise, rivers weave, and coastlines curve, all following fractal rules. Even clouds display fractal geometry. Meanwhile, our very brains seem to process information in fractal-like pathways. Neuroscience reveals that neural networks often grow like fractals, and possibly the cascade of our thoughts does as well. Self-similarity, it seems, might underlie who we are. Now let's pivot. You've likely seen a hexagonal honeycomb, a structure bees build, seemingly without conscious planning, but resulting in remarkable efficiency. Why hexagons? They minimize surface area while maximizing storage and strength. What's wild is that physicists find similar hexagonal tiling in completely unrelated phenomena, from molecular lattices to certain metals solidifying into intricate shapes. Pause for a moment of dramatic effect. Let's talk the golden ratio. Often denoted by the Greek letter phi, approximately 1.618, this irrational number's decimals extend infinitely, never repeating. It shows up famously in Da Vinci's works, classical architecture, and even the spiral of DNA. Some cardiologists claim that a healthy human heartbeat exhibits phi rhythms. In other words, art and science may be two branches of the same conceptual root. But all right, folks, the warm-up's over. Here's where it gets intergalactic. Let's connect patterns to something cosmic. Gravitational waves, ripples triggered across space-time by whirling stellar masses, such as colliding black holes. Recently, algorithms based on frequency patterns, similar to musical analysis, have helped scientists pinpoint these cosmic events. It's as though the universe is humming a melody that we interpret as physics. We're closing in on deeper mathematical structures now. If you've followed so far, here's a thrilling philosophical question. Could everything we see, feel, and measure be high-dimensional reflections of complex mathematical principles we only partially comprehend? This concept ties into string theory, a wild yet fascinating framework proposing that space-time might unfold into 10 or 11 dimensions via tiny vibrating strings. Yes, strings. Tiny oscillating filaments, dancing in near-musical rhythms, supposedly shaping all matter and forces. Like the Mandelbrot fractals we mentioned earlier, this is symmetry on steroids. Mind-blowing as it sounds, the idea is that equations, along with their solutions, might breathe life into atoms, stars, and perhaps even you and me. Take our beloved pi, 3.141592, or E, 2.71828, two constants at the heart of mathematics, engineering, quantum physics, and chaos theory. Why do they appear everywhere? It's as though they're woven into reality's DNA, hinting that mathematics is the cosmos, not just describing it. Einstein alluded to this in his musings on the unreasonable effectiveness of mathematics in the natural sciences. And he wasn't mistaken. At this point, you might wonder, that's all amazing, but how does it apply to our daily lives? Great question. Let's digest it together using modern technology. Mathematical breakthroughs lie at the core of practically every major innovation. Cryptography, for instance, relies on prime number theory. Artificial neural networks owe much of their functionality to differential calculus. Even AI systems that mimic human creativity emerged from mathematical exploration into pattern generation. Earlier, we noted that Fibonacci rhythms appear in heartbeat dynamics. Such discoveries inspire bioengineering to replicate tissues more effectively, or entire ecosystems for sustainability. Meanwhile, researchers in various labs are racing toward prime number encryption-based quantum computers, systems so complex they could render current encryption obsolete. Imagine a future where the internet is secured, or paradoxically, unlocked, by pattern power alone. It's both beautifully creative and slightly terrifying. Let's dial it back to music. Just a quick metaphor break. Musical tempos often align with Fibonacci sequences, and composers like Beethoven sometimes unknowingly orchestrated pieces that resonate with the fundamental truths in nature. So when you relax to piano keys ascending chromatically, you're not just listening to music, but participating in an ancient universal code written billions of years ago. And now, our feature finale. Recall how we hinted at space curving into higher geometry. Pushing beyond normal 3D realms, many physicists talk about compactified extra dimensions, like the Calabi-Yau manifolds of string theory. Envision tiny spirals anchoring the foundation of our apparent flat space-time, constantly interfering, sometimes subtly, sometimes dramatically, with the cosmos's evolution. If infinity can manifest in repeated loops within these stringy structures, rotating energy spectra within black holes could be dancing just beyond our observational reach, existing purely as mathematical phenomena. Could that numerical illusion be what we call life? A bit spicy, isn't it? If all this felt ultra-scientific yet strangely philosophical, perfect. I'm aiming to remind us that humanity thrives on curious surprises. One might say, mathematical symphonies swirl through existence, summing chaotic spirals into harmony. Nature whispers its numerical essence to us daily, from galaxies resonating like Fibonacci fractals, to neural paths in our minds reflecting fractal logic. It's an awe-inspiring tapestry, binding reality's threads into a cosmic chorus. So stay perched, open to new ideas, challenging ingrained thinking, entangling cultural assumptions, and weaving deeper connections. This can guide us as we explore the vast complexity of multidimensional theories and reflect on how elegance arises from chaos. One might even imagine ourselves walking through a star-sculpted eternity, where patterns carve our future in every unfolding moment. Thank you for tuning in. Now, let's keep this dialogue alive. Comment, subscribe, Share your perspectives on how math and patterns have shaped your own worldview. And as always, stay cruised, stay hyper-focused, and keep discovering the cosmic symphony written in every corner of our reality.